meeting the UNAIDS 95-95-95 targets. These targets are a global strategy for ending AIDS epidemic by 2030, aiming for 95% hunger, healthier lives, and that is how the world would eliminate HIV as a public health threat and end AIDS by 2030. South Africa has made significant progress towards the targets. However, there is a struggle with the second 95%, which is to initiate and maintain people on treatment. The country is currently sitting at 96, 78, and 97. One of the first tasks the Minister of Health prioritized in the 7th administration is closing the gap in the second 95. In October 2024, he announced an imminent launch of a campaign to find 1.1 million people who are infected with HIV but are not on treatment. The campaign was launched in February of this year at Chris Hani Baragwana Hospital and is called Close the Gap, Start and Stay on HIV Treatment. The campaign runs parallel to the other campaign which we call End TB campaign, which was launched during the commemoration of World TB Day this year, with a target of testing 5 million people during the year 2025 to 2026, thus leading to a substantial reduction in TB incidence and mortality in South Africa by 2035. South Africa carries the highest HIV and TB burdens globally in relation to its population, with a higher prevalence amongst people aged 15 and 49. Adolescent girls and young women aged between 15 and 24 record the highest new infection per week compared to all population groups. To quote the Minister of Health, which is a famous line that he likes using, and he says, if HIV and TB were a snake, its head would be found in South Africa. That's a quote he likes to use. This means, colleagues, the global community is counting on us to achieve epidemic control for everyone in order to win. And as Dr. Kulu always say, we dare not fail. Speaking of SANAC, the Council has recently developed the South African HIV Prevention Roadmap 2025 to 2028, with guidance and technical support from the HIV Prevention Technical Working Group and other stakeholders. The objective of this roadmap includes the following: to ensure data-driven strategies are aligned with the National Strategic Plan for HIV, TB, and STIs, and global guidance, including the Global Prevention Coalition's 10 action points. Identify program gaps and take remedial action to scale up precision HIV prevention, including community-led and integrated approaches. Prioritize populations and regions most affected by the HIV epidemic. Address social, structural, and legal barriers to HIV prevention. promote rapid adoption of new technologies and innovations, strengthen leadership and accountability within HIV prevention efforts, ensure real-time monitoring and data quality, and lastly but not least, ensure the sustainability of an adequate and eradicate AIDS permanently in South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, the year 2025 also marks the midterm review of the National Strategic Plan for HIV, AIDS, TB, and STIs for the period, as I said earlier, 2023 to 2028. SANAC is consolidating reports and data from various sources and implementers to establish how the country has performed in the implementation of the NSP. Through its 4 goals, the NSP emphasizing the need to break down barriers and maximize equitable and equal access to services through resilient and integrated health system to guarantee the health and social protection of all South Africans. As we have often said as SANAC, this NSP has been a game changer in many ways. It was developed using lessons from the COVID-19 pandemic and is therefore pandemic ready. It also goes further into the social and structural causes of 3 epidemics. That's HIV, tuberculosis, and STIs. The plan also includes an enlarged scope for STI care, including viral hepatitis, which has been linked to HIV transmission. This is also the last NSP to usher us into the year 2030. We are therefore hoping for a good story to tell once the midterm review report is published, and it will give us an indication of what to improve as we forge ahead towards Agenda 2030. Nevertheless, we must remember that behind all reports and statistics, and behind every policy, there are real people. Individuals with hopes and dreams, families and friends, each deserving our compassion and our commitment to their well-being. Let us use this conference as a platform to share our knowledge, our experiences, and our best practices. Let us listen, learn, and collaborate in ways that review our resolve and inspire our actions. This conference provides an opportunity for all voices to be heard, especially from people at the front line. As government, we will not disregard these voices, and we are committed to enhancing our efforts to address the issues associated with the management of these 3 epidemics. Program directors, as I conclude, let me reiterate that as government, we acknowledge the impact of US funding cuts on our response. Even so, our government is diligently working to preserve our achievements in the fight against HIV/AIDS. While these accomplishments may momentarily jeopardize our programs, we believe we will prevail. I was happy when the Deputy Minister was briefing me earlier, and he said that despite all these challenges, they are doing everything to ensure that we don't regress. We are now concentrating on augmenting our domestic funding, initiating national campaigns, and exploring partnerships with the BRICS nations and the private sector in our country to address the funding deficits. We are a resilient country with a brilliant track record in HIV management. Together, we can shape a future where HIV/AIDS is no longer a threat, but a distant memory of our collective strength and determination. Esteemed delegates, in my capacity as both the Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa and the Chairperson of SANAC, I now declare this conference open. I thank you.
On behalf of the scientific and organizing committees, we would like to thank you for participating in the 12th SA/AIDS opening ceremony. We're especially thankful to our distinguished speakers, community leaders, and dignitaries for your messages of support. We acknowledge the contribution that each of you have made to HIV policy, research, and programs. And most importantly, we honor the experiences of people living with HIV, whose voices continue to guide our collective response.
We look forward to seeing you at the plenary tomorrow, which is scheduled to start at 9 a.m. with the focus on reimagining South Africa's HIV program. This is just the beginning of a journey, and through your participation, let's leave here just not with ideas, but with the drive to make a difference. Thank you again for your commitment to unite for change, empower communities, and redefine priorities for HIV/AIDS. Thank you.
That concludes our opening session. We invite you to join us for a cocktail dinner taking place at the exhibition hall. And remember to include hashtag SA AIDS 2025 on your social media posts. Sessions will resume at 9 a.m. tomorrow.